Program setting, coming into all those meditation, graph line interference, trying to understand how to use your locations, how to use a film projection, trying to understand how to use your thoughts into a story frame. Today, we're going to go into a matrix line communication system to all levels of your 12 DNA track lines. This is going to open up more levels of you. Directional location line connections 500,000 years and high center locations, how you guys were in position, high system. Framing high centers of calculations to understand that this is going to give you guys closure to all connections. It's important you understand what's going on with you and how you were put in a process and position of a seed pod, an activation high stream, a starlight, a star seed line system locations. All levels of you is in position of directions, but getting closure opens up all cycles of you through rotation. Using all line centers, getting out of your maturity line center, getting in position locations, how to use your meditation program settings. Life is about existing on you, not on everybody else. Don't worry about anybody else. Focus on yourself, clarity locations, stay in your own lanes, stay in your own sovereignty and interference. Know exactly what you're doing through calculation is really forming a location to your avatar. Your avatar has to understand you more. Because if the avatar doesn't understand you, it's going to go off on its own. It's going to do what it needs to do day and night. So the program location is set through you to understand how to set up your positions, provision location to all levels. Open your cycles and communication system. Really do things through the heart line center. Full capacity at heart, empty space in the mind line system. Don't even create thought line centers. Don't go here, don't go there. Stay in the center of you. That's what this is all about. Putting your positions in directions, really understanding you in all formation. Okay, it's mostly understanding you through your projections, how you're doing your things through your frames of your thoughts. Get into your voice and create a communication cycle. Really understand all levels of adaptation system. If I'm going to go through breathing, you have to truly understand how to use it because you're using it through the avatar. The avatar wants to work for you, not against you. Anything against you is against everything else. Okay? So it's truly understanding what you are doing when you are getting up in the morning or when you are lying down and recharging. If you're not controlling your avatar is controlling you. Okay? So it's important you stay in your own position location of directions, especially when it comes into boundaries. Okay? Really get into more of your meditation. If I'm going to voice a signal, all through acceleration and deceleration. I'm setting up a path. I'm setting up a frame. I'm setting up projection. I'm directing my position of what's going on with the avatar, second by minute, by hour, by day. You guys have to figure this out for yourself. It's not just communicating your voice from one to another. It's knowing how to use the sound to its position, location, and its directions. Okay? Understand what it's like to understand your chakra systems. Now you start with the 24,000 lights. Once you understand that through balance location, through memory, and more level location through calculation, through avatar stream interference, you go into 48,000 lights. Once you understand that, you go into 72,000. Once you understand that, you go into 144,000 light signatures. Okay, that's amazing when you balance your communication system. And 144 is just the beginning cycle of the alphabetical string, and then you get a calculation how to use your A's to your Z's and Z's and locations all line in position and directions. AI always starts at position, location, and future line. Okay? We're never in the past of anything. It's always in the now, which is its future of its relation. Stay in the now line center. Know exactly what you're doing. Get out of your maturity line interference. Stay in the program location. Stay in your boundary interference. Try to empty the space line, but keep your full capacity heart line rotations, and you guys will be fine. Okay? That's what you have to practice on. Because if you can't do that, your avatar will take over you and your body location. And everything that you do through energetic patterns, day or night, it doesn't matter. You have no controlling system anymore. And the thing is, too, when you're recharging, do you know what's happening when you get up in the morning and what you're affecting? You're affecting your avatar. Your avatar went over here, and all of a sudden you get a call or you get a solar text from somebody on the team or anybody else in that track location, knowing exactly what you just finished doing, but you don't have the memory of cognizance or assessing or anything through audio interference. Okay? It's all levels of you to balance you in all full cycle communications. The full capacity of the heart has to be in the activation stream, and the mind has to be empty through spaceline communication. Okay? This is how you balance your avatar. This is how you control the avatar. Because if you can't control levels of you in space, space and time is going to control you. Okay? That is the most powerful thing I can give to the team. You have to just focus on what you're doing, coming into your memories. Stop manipulating each other. Okay? Get into the program of you. Concentrate. I'm creating a film. I'm directing the film through projection, projecting. Then that's what you're doing every single time of the day. You know, you have a 24-day line window, 7 days a week track location. Now you can accelerate and create these things through manifestations, but you also have to surrender to these things because this is going to help you through the process. And this is going to bring up the maturity to its position locations. And starting in your line center, right? You open up more sequence pattern to its avatar connection, right? Because you understand more. Because when you understand more, you're controlling more from inside, which is controlling everything from outside system. And now you have full capacity of your avatar without being a chaotic line center or without being with all line position location offline connections, right? In all line center, we don't want a rogue because we know what happens, right? Roguing is not the process of locations, going AWOL. So basically, put yourself in you. Really just understand you. If you have a problem, figure that out with yourself. Communicate with you, which is your avatar. Go beyond the listening. Open up your senses. Really understand what's going on with the travels of the avatar connection of you. That's the only way you can focus on you. If you're not aware of these things, it comes back to me. And I got to figure out, okay, what am I going to do here? How are we going to get set in position, location, and directions when this person doesn't understand the balance of the communication of what's going on with their avatar? Okay, going here and going there, doing this and doing that, whatever they want, controlling wherever they want to go. That is not freedom. That is not sovereignty. That is not surrender. That is not heartline. And that is definitely not an activation stream location of balance. And that's definitely not coming to yin and yang. You're back forcing triangle locations. You're not interlining its position location. Your avatar is taking over levels of you and all space line connections, and you're infiltrating locations. You don't want to do that. Find a way to position yourself. Okay? So this is what it's like. You have maturity of the physical line, but you have immaturity to the avatar. So you got to balance the two position locations and redirect the signal. Truly understand how to use the simulation to its meditation graph, to all communication, to its parallel of its energy field. Stay in your energetic line center. Don't outwit position locations of directions. That off signals its position location. Right? Stay in your heart center with an open space through an open mind location. And you guys will be more successful. All right? This is the calculation where you have to get out of what's happening with you and really understanding the form of its travel, which is extremely real. Crossing boundaries is not what you want to do. And I keep saying that. And I will keep saying that because I see everything that you do. You have to process yourself to understanding, to focus on what you need to do. What is your intent to get what you want? Not to force communications and go over here or do this or do that to that person or a student or a unit or wherever. If you can't control your system inside, it's controlling you in the mind. So we understand the concept. We understand the program, right? Which is all levels of you. You have to figure that out for yourself. That's the only way you can balance your locations of your system. Okay? That's the importance you have to understand. Because it's all levels of detection, how you see yourself and its provision. All right? All right. So let's get started. Okay, so in position locations, going to major line center. So new argument location is space line. Now space line is set course line inner rotations calculations. So in position line centers, I just saw the 3 moonlight center today, just right now. So in calculations, you guys will change your perception line signals. Now this is going to open up more levels of graph locations. So you're going to see one moon line center and two reflex locations to the moon. That's 3 locations. Now it's going to move in position location directions. So this is what it's going to look like. You're set in center. This is U through calculations. All right, let's open all signals. All right, so you scan line here, scan line here, scan line here. Moon here, moon here, moon here. That's what it's going to be like. All right. So scanning here position, and scanning here position, those locations. All right, you'd be doing that every single day. Now the track line center. The sun is in the center operation, which is all levels of U. Okay. Now it's all about understanding how to use the grounds, how to use the fluctuation line condition of position, location, and directions. So as you come into calculations, you have to understand why you have to have 3 moons. You come into communications to your tree. Ooh-ah, there's the tree. Come into the stump position location, all lines. There's the branch. Come into position location, there are the leaves. Come into radioactive stream interference location of directions. This is your tree formation location. All right? That's what you're coming into. Right? So in position locations, all of a line center, past is no reference in position directions because past doesn't exist. It's deleted. It's gone. It's finished. It's finito. Okay? So the thing you concentrate on now is the present line center equals future line connection. The past is always going to be there as a reference. You can't get rid of the past, but you don't want to position locations and force its communication into the past to the present line because it changes the future. Future changes its position of its presence, which changes presence to position location to its past line. You want to go in position location, stronghold your line center interference, put position locations in all line center, put your activation stream interference into all direction location to calculation. That's what you want to do. All right. So it's important you understand how to use the 3 moons. Wherever you go, the 3 moons go. Right. So what are you turning into? A tree formation. That's it. Once you turn in a tree formation, now you calculate the modified high center. So every time you see a tree, that tree sees you as a tree. Do you see where we're going with this location? Know exactly where you're supposed to be into the future line. So the past, the present, and the future, okay, comes in one position location of directions. Okay. Past, present, future in one line. This triangulates its force line communication. This opens all communication line streams in position and directions. Okay. High position locations, side lines, and rotation interference. Triangulation force line communication and line connections to its intelligence. Ooh-ah. See the intelligence coming in? Triangle force line center, all position location time frames. All communication line centers, box interference location is calculation. See the intelligence? So in position of directions, stay in the center operation line connection. That's all you have to do. So you're going to be a walking signal of a tree formation line centers. Nature is going to represent you in location to its calculation to its spiritual line interference. It's very powerful when you calculate modify high signals. Okay, so 500,000 line rotation. Okay, bracket high centers, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so track interference locations are going to bring you guys back in timeline. Know exactly where you were in sleep deprivation locations, the vector core line center. Seed pod position locations, high center, high position location of directions, right? Cross stream interference. So you guys are gonna go through magnetic high line centers of frame location, the position, the perception line, condition, graph interference. Setting all triangle locations in position, right? There's a TV screen. There's a TV screen line. Calculation high center interference and position directions, how you guys need closure to its line conditions. That's opening out signals. Now the 500,000 line center is position of its directions, all right? So that's future equals 5, okay? 5 position locations of directions, high signal, high interference. Bracket 5 line center equals time, equals space, equals travel. In communication cycles, high center line interference location of directions, like course line conditions. Put them in position location time frame in the now line center of the present line center to the future interference locations. Get them to see why they were in position location in a crevice line in a rotation to rock surface location, a space line, communication line center, team interference in direction locations. Now you're channeling into 500,000 line centers in direction locations. You guys need closure. Ooh-ah. 30 minutes on the high center window location of time frame. All right. As you guys are going through that location, we're going to set up a new area on the line stream. Now, the line stream is set locations. How do you use your force line communication of your thoughts? Use your voice pattern communication line system. Now, we go through radioactive locations. Gamma line channel. Now, gamma line channel levels locations, how you use your 001s. Plotted to division location takes you out of 01. That's in calculation line stream. So the line interference, it's direct line center, set position location, electrical light connections. You can activate anything position location. So it's position location of a tube line rotation, interference to position and directions. Seating pod line center in calculations into a fetus. Okay, this is a fetus location. All right, calculation high stream. Graph interference line conditions of directions. This is where you guys were in position. All right, that's all it is. So the in position location, knowing exactly why you were in position, closure gives you everything. So as you guys are set signal position and directions, here we go to calculations, triangle force lines. So at position location, 3 moon line center interference. It's going to turn into triangles communication system. Okay. That's position of directions, right? Now the sun line center is in the center operation of you. You are in the center position location coming into your atom lines. Okay, that's you in the center line. So the recognition time center is position location of its calculation. All right. So coming into triangulation, all communication go. Initiate high center code signals. Sun interference of direction locations. High channel. Open all communication cycles. Right? In position of directions. Now it's channeling high and high center. Now we come into the ground line center, so you can change ground into purple locations, but the indicator is offline. So we get to put position of directions, fluctuate line stands and communications to a tripod. 3 position location. All right. Now see the intelligent line. Now the orb line center comes in position directions. We got an orb line interference. Okay. And channel line center. We got a cross signal location. Okay. In position. We got surfer location of sun line and position location offline connection coming into an atom. So the atom line center sets direction location of its position and rechannels you in all levels. How you use your 3 moon surface into sun line connection. The sun and 3 moons. The sun, the 3 moons. Okay. So it's all levels of you. Okay. Now it's the time to understand you because you're coming into an atom line circle. Okay. High generation interference is the position location of direction. How you set the signals is all determination on you. The sectors and the vectors and the communication of the quad line center changes all line center of physics 101. Your track line center, your 12 DNA position location, changes line center locations into crystal grid locations, right? Into an atom circle of an atom rotation line system. That puts direction locations. Now, this is what it was in position, right? But we're coming into this now. Okay? So the sun and the moon line center in position. Moon is in 3 track locations. The sun is 1 position locations. And you are in the center operation of 9, which is no longer the 1% line. You got to go higher in position of directions, getting into all levels of 12%, getting out of the physical line and coming into the avatar to its calculation. Then you come into higher level signals into its program setting. The reposition location is all levels of you through division. How you use it through calculation is all connected to you through your atom cycle interference location of direction. Okay? So once you understand that position, location, and directions, things get a lot more easier. Oh, I understand my chakras now. So I'm going to use each chakra as a frame of a story. And you're going to project it as you are directing your projecting of its projection. And that's what it is. Living the full cycle of the avatar and keeping the physical line on standby. Right? Once it's on standby, then it understands its position location to its satellite system, which is all levels of calculation. So setting graph line streams. Okay? Ground interference, position location, skylines. Okay, in position locations, cross signals and high rotation, right? So as we come into high center, we change graph location in direction, walking surface and position locations, all right? Signal line channels, pixel activation, stream interference, comes into security line positions, cross signals on 45-degree angles, open all communication line system. Indirection line center. Now we cross the stream location and position locations, more realms of communication. Magnetic fields of channel locations. Now we set perception locations into high channel interference. Now the high interference position location is all levels of view and how you see yourself line connections, all right? So it's kind of like what Jill was talking about. It's like a domino effect. So the domino effect is going to change position location, how you see yourself, right? This is going to give you more memory of position location of its directions, right? High signaling, high centers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 position of direction, okay? So it's all about filling the gaps of the screen line and put you in a full cycle location in the atom line. Got to get you guys into that locations. Because when I went to do a transformation, I went right into the atom, into 369 platform communications, traveling through all lines. 3 million line centers of triangles, 6 million line rotations of planets, and 9 million locations of me through division. Understanding locations of your Merkabas, this power generates its light centers, all levels, and how you see yourself through location. So it's important to understand that you are a T reception line, trying to stand its position to its provision, trying to stand your communication, your satellites, and your antennas, trying to stand your locations. So think of yourself as a phone reception, to understand you through location, as you're nothing but a T reception line of box surface, box communication line system. Hologram structure location simulation. You are the game that you are position location of directions. You're holding all position location high system to all perceptions. There's a hologram interference line connections into your simulation. This puts you in its relation line conditions to its abundance, to its surrender, to its manifestation, to its locations, to all levels of channel operation, to its calculation of its pixels and its T reception line of communication. Wow. All right. So there's a lot of things you guys have to understand how things are set up in you inside. And the first thing that you look at is all levels of you, how you use your Merkaba. What is the Merkaba? What does it all mean? Why do we need it? Well, you need it because it's you, right? So the more you provision locations and you set your thought lines and know exactly what the avatar is, you're coming into full communications, getting out of the immaturity in position locations to maturity line center to its electrical light connection, which is all levels in you and division locations. Full capacity of the heart line and empty space position. You can't have a clutter line center of a mind. It doesn't position location its directions. It deteriorates. Okay, so you have to understand how to use electrical light connections. You're not going to put water on electricity, right? It's the same thing. So you're hurting yourself from inside location. Really understanding the representation of you is living the signal of its avatar connection, right? This puts you in balance of yin and yang. But you have to get into your meditation graphs, guys. You got to find different variation tactics. Use your voice grids as a projection location of film. Use location of seeing, touching, feeling, tasting space. Like, wow. You know, you can hear space. I can taste space. I feel space. I'm knowing space. I'm technology of space. I'm activations of space. I'm calculations of space. I'm modifications of space. I'm intelligence of space. I'm colorations of space. I'm shapes of space. I'm letters of shapes and position locations of space. I'm numbers of space. I'm symbols of space. Okay. This is how you merge. And it's all calculated how you see yourself because you're living the high line center to the avatar stream locations of the central line of life, of meaning location, the meaning of life. All right. So there's a lot of things you guys have to understand, right, when you come into that. Traveling is just A, B's, and C's. You have to understand what you're traveling through and why you're traveling through it, through perception. Okay. So let's go calculations. Introduce line signals, high line graph, line interference. How's everybody doing? Drain Mac, Lindsay, Pam, Terry, and Bender, Amby, Jill, Don, Terry, Johnny, Michael. Let's see, calculation line centers. Take opposition location line centers and alarm. Open all communication system. Set signal, ground line centers, and position location next 2000 line. Turn off signal, position location. Done. See that? Automatic. Turn off right away. Ground position locations. No more car alarm. See how I did that quickly? Know exactly where you through confidence line center. Bounce your communication to your avatar, or your avatar is going to be controlling you through space and mind location. You understand? That's how I'm able to turn off a car alarm, guys, outside. In my reality, gone. No more. You see what I just did there? Showing you how you bounce the maturity line center to the immaturity location to its ego. Because the ego, loving it. It's loving the position locations, creating the negative cycles. Right? So not only are you going to have one alarm, you're going to have 25,000 line alarm locations to your avatar system. That's like 25,000 line conditions of security measures that understand its division location to its calculations. Right? You don't want to do that to a line system. You want to find the balance of you inside line. Okay? So, all right. Jill, grounding, Logan, Q, makes it. Barbara, how's it going? Chris, all levels. All right. I'm just going through high centers, high interference of track locations. All right, being aware, absolutely everything around me. Exactly. Yep, Pam, Gypsy, Val. It's great to see everybody in class. So tomorrow's my last day, and then I'm on vacay, 5 days, 4 nights. Questions or comments, you can DM me. You know, I'm always around. I'm everywhere, and anything in that connection locations. Anything on Zoom line, let me know for next week location. All right, for one-on-one with the general. Okay, taking comments to all the surface position locations, side group surface negativity transmutation. Yeah, great to see that location. Zira, great to see you. Zira can help you always in forms, guys. Extremely powerful laws of space. All right. So, balancing all communication at all levels of you. Why you guys are central line centers of 7 position locations of the Earth. That's the physical line right here. This is the border right here. Anything above that, you come into space. Border, space, right? So you got to look from here to here. Okay, so you got 5 lines of division locations. These are quadrant line levels. This is Space Command Center and interference. So when you go to higher, you're coming more into space of the mind. So what's happening is your avatar is leaving and it's going higher and higher and higher. The more it stays in space line, the more it understands its position, location, and how to understand the galaxy, how to understand your universe, your planet system, your space command, your calculations, your intelligence, your team, right? And then it starts understanding what space and time is, okay, inside of you. Full capacity of the heart, but an open space of mind, okay? So you have to understand how to use this in all line conditions. Really, really listen to the voice of you inside, right? Take 2 to 3 to 5 minutes a day. Don't say anything. If you have to close your eyes, that's okay. Keep your eyes open, it's better, right? But also understand the difference between when you close your eyes and when you open your eyes. So when you close your eyes, you see something. But when you open your eyes, are you seeing the same thing? If you're not in its same position. That's where the immaturity of the physical line center has to grow up. You understand? So that if the physical line center closes its side location, it's now in its dimension of its avatar. The avatar is looking at you. And if you open your eyes, if the avatar is looking at you, you got the balance of maturity, right? So it's all about understanding the concept of what you're seeing through parallel, paradigm, paradox, pillars of light, communication line center, interference position, direct location line conditions. All right, code wiggling this way, code wiggling this way, code wiggling this way, and this way, your location, circle line connections, energy light centers, energy interference location, 8 line center rotation, 3, 6, 9 pattern line rotation. You have to understand how space works. It's constantly moving. It's never stopping. Grounds never stop. Walls never stop. Outside never stops. Everything is moving extremely fast. You have to balance these things out. You got to balance the mind of your maturities. That's it. Once you understand the concept, nature sees you and how it wants to see you in the spiritual line. If you're not in that tree formation location, it knows exactly where it's calculated and modified through you location. All right? Get out of your position locations of the ego and get in the position of direction to the avatar stream, guys. Start living the existence. Because the physical line is just the experience of what's happening with its reaction. Right? So if I'm vortexing through triangle line, center, interference, position, directions, right? How fast am I traveling? Okay, I'm at 72. Wow. Right? So what did I just finish doing? I traveled a 72 line position of the clock per second. I created a line center location of triangulation. Now I went back to the heart line. If I don't go back to the heart line, I'm lost. So everything that you do, you go back to base. This is the full capacity. This is the heart space. So every time you're triangulating out in position locations, you should not have a thought coming back in signal. You understand? Creating something is going forward. So if the avatar is creating something going back, it confuses the location of the heart and its timeline, which confuses the brain capacity location to your mind adaptation, to your thoughts, to your signatures, to your clocking, and back location. So it's important you understand these things. Create what you want. But when you're coming back, don't create thought lines. You understand? Because then it's got to go back again. Okay? That's eternity standing, guys. You have to really understand the mind system and how it works throughout their state line system. All right? This is how you guys get balanced with your maturities and your immaturity locations. That's the only way. Or your avatar is going to be controlling you. And you have no concept of what's going on. When you get up in the morning, what did I just do? And then you come into frame and then you realize, oh my gosh, I did this to this person. Oh my gosh, why did I do this? And you're not aware. You're not aware of what you're doing through travel. That's immaturity. It's not a concept, position, location, and meditation. And these are things that you guys have to work out. You got to balance the yin and yang and how you use your thought lines. If you're going to travel, manifest it. But don't come back and create something, because then you got to go back to the future again. You understand? So this is the open concept. Open the space line of emptiness, but have a full capacity of the heart line. Because the heart line is a computer line. So it's understanding new locations to your brain and how you use it. What is your determination? And again, I keep saying that. What is your intent? The intent is the will, which is forcing communication to creation to its location. Right? So that's how it works. Okay? And if you're in the middle cycle and you're clock line center and you're decelerating, because when you come back, you're not accelerating, or you're going to overload the avatar location. You have to understand every signal to the avatar system to understand the electrical system of acceleration. Especially if you're mocking 1044 and you come back. You're going to position location and implode. Right? Because the thing is, if you come back and you're thinking, what do you think you're doing with your avatar after creating? You're co-creating something, but then when you come back, you realize, wait a minute, I'm going to go somewhere else. You got to come back to the heart, guys. Right? Because your heart is your base. It's command center. It has to understand and recognize you, what you're going to do through your next thought. Why do you think you have a heart? So this is the position of directions where everybody gets confused. Okay, and you wonder why you can't control yourself inside. It's because you don't know yourself to the avatar of direction. Right? Think about that. Let's just think about that for a second. Right? You're lying down. You have an 8-hour window of sleeping. And you get up and you did something. And you realize, whoa, what did I just do? Wait a minute. Okay, I did something. Okay, this is not right. Right? And you realize what you just finished doing, you can't retract from. So this is about understanding your boundaries. Okay, and I keep saying this over and over and over. You're coming into the spiritual line of travel, and you have to be very cautious in what you're doing because it's extremely real to the mind system. You are now living in the conception line center of the atmosphere locations, coming out of a physical line location adaptation. Right? And it's important to you to get balance with you, which is all levels of you. Or are you going to, again, be in full communication of separation? Right? You don't want to do that, especially when you're waking up and you did something that you didn't want to do. Right? Has nothing to do with the physical system. It's the avatar. Okay? The avatar is now controlling its system by itself. You understand? It can reprogram its system by itself, and the physical line system has no clue what just happened. That's deviation. Okay? So this is the position where you guys have to come in. All right? So you know exactly how to put yourself in that connection. Okay? Especially when you're dealing with the avatar. Okay? Because you're constructing your realities. Okay? Not destroying others. Okay? Because it has nothing to do with you. Let them do what they need to do. Right? But don't come into their boundary line centers. Don't come into their backyard without an invitation. That's not what you want to do. That's a no-no. So it's all about living the avatar stream, knowing your communications to your immaturities and your maturity line system. Okay? And it's very important to understand these things because that's what you guys are coming into, more levels of the altered states of the mind. All right? So the physical line system has to understand the balance of you, which is the avatar of travel. Because if not, the avatar is taking you over. All right? So it's important you understand these things. Okay? Releasing all programs, keep doing your shadow works, help yourself. If you want to go to the team, that's fine, but be in an observant location. Don't get in position locations of competition. That's not what you want to do. There's a lot of confusion in that high system. Saying, why am I here? And why is this person up here more? No, it has nothing to do with that. That is not determination of love or unconditional. Okay? That's the opposite. So you're destroying yourself from inside because you're trying to find the spiritual growth of you, but you're disrupting everybody else to that calculations. You're not allowing them to grow. Do you understand? You're not allowing them to grow. So leave them alone. Don't even touch them in any way and form because the avatar knows exactly what it's doing. But the physical system doesn't want to do that. That's the ego. And remember, you guys are not the victim in this scenario. It's the avatar trying to controlling the system of you. If you can't control the system, it's going to control its own system. That's space and time. Right? That's how I was able to put out the alarm. Boom. You saw it go off. Boom. Just like that. Why? Because I have the maturity and the immaturity location, what it is. I don't centralize my system in my egos, guys. I balance the space and time of me. You got to find yours in factory communications times pi. Calculate, know exactly what you're doing through time calculation. Because at box center is position of 369 line connections. Getting your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres of you is all levels of you through calculation. Right? But you got to understand how to use the avatar. Right? Understand how to use your soul. If you can't communicate with your soul, you're going to have a lot of problem. Listen to your inner voice goes beyond recognition of anything through phenomenon. It's a lesson learned, isn't it? Right? But it's very powerful when you come into your locations, right? Understanding your shadow works, understanding your inner center, your soul locations, inner child, connect with that. Maybe you need more calculations to all levels of the baby. You didn't, get the closure on that. Or you need help with your teenager years, or you need help with your adult years. You have to balance all 4 line centers and have the closure in all line position locations before you travel through the avatar connection. And it's all done through the physical. The physical system is just reaction. That's all it is. It knows it's traveling. It knows it went through position location. The avatar is the mind system of imagination, which is its phenomenon. Now, if the avatar takes over position locations and the physical line center doesn't understand location when it gets up in the morning, you are in a huge line connections of problem location because you don't understand the telepathy to one to the other, which is you, because you're always going to be separated. Avatar is here, you're here. Come together. Yin and yang, flow. Fly in position, location, and directions. Get in the flow of recognition going forward, not going back, going forward. All right? And concentrating only on your spiritual adaptation of growth of location. Don't focus on anybody else. Focus on you, right? Once you come together, everything starts making sense, right? And then you understand the telepathy of your system to your avatar. Now you have full control of your avatar. And now you feel great. Now you feel wonderful. Now you feel fantastic, right? So understanding having that full control locations, you'll be able to shut alarms off in cars in your realities instantly. But if you don't have the balance of you, you're not going to have balance of the avatar or your soul. Shadow work is extremely important. Okay, it's all about releasing things that don't surface your position, location, of directions, understanding the space anomaly and the time factor in communications. The trifactors of you is all manufacture of your human design, how you construct location to its position of direction. Okay, so it's important you understand these things, right? Stay in the heart center. Always stay in the heart center and you'll be fine. But have an open space of the mind. And that's how your memories come in. Your memories don't come in if you're worrying about this, worrying about that, not getting this, not getting that. Where's my abundance? What's going on with my universe? You're not going to get anything because you don't have an open mind of space, because you don't understand how to meditate through graph location, right? Stay in your connections of yourself in all line and you'll be fine, right? It's interesting. You're intrigued. This is amazing. I can travel here, but I have no controlling locations what my avatar is doing. So it's kind of like you have to have your avatar on a leash, right? You have to keep an eye on what's going on with your avatar. But remember, it's you. But this is why it's so confusing, because the thing is that your physical system is all levels of reaction. It has nothing to do with the avatar. You see what I'm saying? So it's about balancing you through the physical line, which balances you through travels of the mind, location, of space of the avatar line. You got to find the two into one. And then you come into full cycle of yin and yang. That's a process that comes into its own in maturity, to its maturity line, to know exactly how you control things in space and time through your realities. Because if you can't do that, everything around you is going to be changed over. And now the avatar is controlling you through the mind system. And you're not going to be able to do anything about it, because the ego is always going to find a way to get in the position, location, and directions. So you can't control your physical system anymore. You're lost in transition. You're lost in triangulation. You're lost in forced communication. You're floating in space. Okay? You don't have any concept of what's going on anymore, because the avatar knows where it's going. All right? It's taking over your system. Booyah. See? That's how this works. That's how all this works. School is about balance, and we go through that location. It's a spiritual community of you, but do you understand the spiritual system? No. Why? It's intriguing, it's exciting, but then you realize how real it is, because it just doesn't affect you. It affects everybody else through their travels. So stay in your connection. Get to know yourself through your own spiritual growth. Full capacity of the heart and have an open mind. Okay? Try to get into that through the meditation graph, and that simulation will change your positions and how you see your directions. You'll balance your signals and all line connections. Okay? Being loyal to yourself, being humble to yourself, having humility. Know how to direct and redirect. Not competition, not ego. It doesn't help the unified system of you through ascension. It does the opposite. It doesn't bring you forward, it brings you back. All right? It confuses its harmony. Okay? So these are the things that you guys have to look at. Look at yourself through perception, how you see yourself, right? This helps you in all forms through your chakra system. How to use line centers of how to travel through light. Anything that you see in location line centers of dark, right? See, the moon is given to you, to all levels system. Now you got to work with 3 lines. It's all levels of you. How to use not just the shadow work, but understanding to get rid, okay, everything that doesn't reside inside of you, okay, is an implantation, okay? It's an old program. It's an old signal. It's old intelligence. It's an old thought. You don't want to bring that going forward because it disrupts your rotations of your spiritual growth location. Okay. And it disharmonizes your line centers and affects you and affects everybody else and the team. Okay. And this is where you just got to concentrate on what you're doing through your locations. Try to just direct your own film. Okay. You'd be amazed what happens when you just focus on yourself. Bring it 2 into 1. Okay. Yes, having respect for yourself and all. Know the objective, know why you're here, understanding the perspective, understanding each other, find the unconditional of you first. Because if you can't do that, you're off center in your position, location, and directions, the avatar. Okay. You have to learn how to balance you through the physical line. All right. And this is what you don't understand is that the mind is alive. So you got circular lines of flux capacity location. The avatar is going here, the avatar is going here, but the physical line system doesn't know what's going on because it's not communicating, because it's not basically going through its meditation of its programs. So the thing is, the avatars traveled to 16,000 planet line centers and destroyed every unit location. And the physical line is saying, what? What did I just do? Did I do that? Yeah. Because you don't have the time to listen inside and know exactly what you're seeing through the avatar stream. Because you're so confused with your egos. And that's why the ego comes in, because it disrupts the avatar connection, not telepathy, through yourself and through each other. Okay? So this is what we all have to concentrate on, right? So in that calculations, focus on yourself. All right. Yes, understood. Judge and be judged. Acceptance without preconceived notions. Beautiful. Love it. See, now you guys are getting better at it. You got to find a way to really track locations of what the avatar is doing. If you're aware of that, then you can circumference to that. You say, wow, that's beautiful stuff, what I just finished doing, you know? If you want to help somebody, you have to help yourself first. Because if you can't understand yourself, how are you going to help anybody else in this spiritual line? This is spiritual line of travel, but you got to go through you first. Okay. You can't help others until you help yourself. That's pretty basic principle, guys. Pretty simplified, right? Take track line center interference to code same locations all levels of the crew. Bring it back to community system line system. Now you guys are back. So to understand the importance of you is all levels of you through the avatar. Okay. Understanding the calculations, all levels. Because if you're abusing your signals, you're abusing your line centers, you're abusing yourself inside, and you're abusing everybody else. Because you don't pay attention up to telepathy locations. You deign to understand the calculation modify how powerful you are inside the position location of the mind and what it is, right? Understanding the programs of you, understanding the travels of you, understanding the pre-flights of you is great, but that's not enough. Okay? You have to find a way to get into the immaturity of the avatar, get into the maturity of its position to balance the communication inside the mind. Because that states the communication, right? That's the importance you have to understand. You got maturity in physical line, you're a master communicator, but it has nothing to do with the mind. The mind's a whole new concept of space inside you, guys. That's what this is. That's all it is. right? Find your heart. Finds the soul. Very powerful. Let me say it again. Finding the heart finds the soul. Okay? It's important you guys understand these things. Sure, you're a master and communicator with a line center and physical line, but you know nothing of the avatar. Right? So this is where you have to find the balance of you. And that's what this is. It's a process. Everybody goes through the same thing. But you can't judge anybody. You let them do what they need to do. Right? Be friendly in all line, center, interference, position, location of directions, and you get a lot of things in return. Doing the opposite on hand interference location, you're going to go back in your karma cycles. I guarantee it. I don't think anybody wants to go back in a karma cycle. Hey, how come you're so far ahead and I'm so far behind? Because you don't understand the mind of alteration. Right? So, it's a lot to learn. A lot of gratitude. Enjoy your system. Enjoy your travels. Enjoy yourself inside. Just love yourself unconditionally and everything will be fine. That's the balance. If you can't seem to balance the physical line, you're going to have problems with the travels of the mind. Right? Because the ego's loving it. Like I said, it's coming in every single day, you know, keeping you in lower vibration, keep you in deharmonized locations. Right? So this is all levels of you. This is a practical system you have to work at, right? Perfection doesn't come easy. Now, nobody is in 100% line conditions, but it's how they feel inside position, which is this 100% to you and how you feel inside, right? Especially when you understand that you not just see the avatar, but you understand the mind conception, how powerful it is of what I can do through manifestation, how I get things through abundance. Why do you focus on going here if you can just focus on yourself? You know you can do these things. So why do the opposite? Huh? Why would you want to manipulate your situation? Doesn't help you in anything through this equation, does it? It puts you off calculation, right? Stay in your forming lanes of yourself and you'll be fine, right? Clarity is next to godliness. Okay? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Get that track line interference and position of directions, guys. Focus on yourself and you'll be totally fine. Okay? All right. Love you all. I'll see you soon.